into things we sell or use at home. And today we're making a new display for our decoupage paper.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. You could also use it if you don't want to display all of your decoupage paper, or if you buy a lot from us, and you do.
No judging if you have a lot. I mean, sometimes it's the right tools, right? The craft supplies.
Yeah. You could also use this as like a blanket display. We have a couple of old grain sacks on a ladder in our room. This would also work for that. So, you know, lots of fun things you could display on this the way we're going to do it.
Leah, it is 10 o'clock in Lehi. We had daylight savings time this week, so it might be throw people a little bit off depending on whether or not people switch, especially people from other countries, because they don't switch on the same schedule as us. But we're excited to be here, and this has been at our shop for quite a while. It didn't sell, so we're going to make it into a display. Did you say that we could use it for blankets?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
So if you remember from way long ago, I think it was a Waste Not Wednesday originally, and we just had it for sale at the shop, and we ended up draping a bunch of like blankets and purses and jackets and stuff on it and hanging stuff from the knob, and it never really sold. But we did this with one of our stencils in chalk, with a chalk pencil. So it still wipes off, but we're probably just gonna paint right over the top of that today. And this is some copper pipe. This is 1/2-inch copper tubing. We're going to use this to display the papers on it, and these were $5 for a 5-foot section. I cut them down into two 30-inch sections with my miter saw, so now we have 16 of these instead of 8.
And I have no idea how he's putting this together because it is not my design. So I hope you're going to be just as surprised as me as it like pulls together.
You're going to tell them all about milk paint while I get the doorknob off.
All right, well, we're gonna use that. We've got Sweet Pickins and Pantry Door. It's a really great, like, vintagey looking green. And I've got my mixing cup. Oops, I gotta dump out some water from it. We kind of use the same mixing cup over and over again and get the paint out of the bottom of the cup.
So on these old doorknobs and hinges and stuff, I like to have a chisel handy, and I keep a special one that I use just for this. It's kind of all messed up, but I basically just really quickly cut, I'll show you up close in a second, cut the old paint right out of this slot on the screw.
How many ounces?
And now I can use a regular screwdriver to get this knob off of here.
So I like these cups because they have measurements on the side, and you're gonna mix 1 part milk paint to 1 part warm water. I like to mix a little bit less and make my paint a little bit thicker because I'm lazy and I don't like to do a lot of coats.
So this doorknob's been painted a ton, and this is the tiny little screw. Let's see if I can get it to focus on it. But there was a ton of paint all on here. It was sitting down in there, and I just scraped it out with that chisel, and then the screwdriver worked real good.
If you guys saw these last week, they sold out on our Thursday Stay at Home Shopping Network, but I ordered 30 more, so we'll let you know when they come back in stock. But I do love this because it's got the ounces on the side, so it makes it easier for measuring. I'm sure some people will use it for baking or mixing drinks, but I use it for milk paint.
So same on this flange with the screws. The chisel works really good to just kind of gouge that paint out, and then I can fit an actual screwdriver down in there. I'm just using a little shorty handle one.
If you're new here and you want to know where to get this milk paint, you can pick it up at jamirayvintage.com. All of our home decor and items like this, you can pick up at jrvhome.com. And we actually are having a ginormous pallet delivered right now, so tomorrow should be a really good
We've got
episode.
a couple pallets this week.
Yeah, so make sure you set your alarms. You're not going to want to miss the Stay at Home Shopping Network tomorrow. Some of it's new, some of it's old from my pickers.
We do that at 4.
Yeah. 4 o'clock Mountain Time on Thursdays.
Yeah.
All right, it's getting a little loud. So you can use a fork if you want to, or a whisk. I picked up this immersion blender at my thrift store for $5. The tag's still on it, and this is the first time I've used it, so I wasn't sure.
I tested it right before we went live.
Oh, you did?
Sometimes, go ahead.
I actually bought a couple of these. I got one for here and one for the shop, but if I find any more, we'll put them on our thrift hauls. So that way, if you guys want one, you can. Because normally they're like 20 or 30 bucks on Amazon.
Christina has a question. She says, need help. I painted a shelf with DIY paint and waxed and buffed, but it is still splotchy, blotchy. How long ago did you do that with the wax? Because it can take...
Sorry, I got it.
Mix it and then I'll tell you.
I think I got it. It mixes pretty fast. You don't want to like move it around a lot because then you get a lot of bubbles. Sorry, all right.
So wax can take up to 30 days to cure. Usually the splotchiness will go away after 2 or 3 days. If it's still splotchy and it's dry to the touch, like it doesn't feel tacky when you touch it, you need more wax.
There was a plastic measuring cup. Must have been in this. I thought it sounded weird. So if you get, I think there's a chunk missing about that big. So if that comes out, we'll know what it was.
So I'm just using the chisel on these because they're so painted and someone's kind of wallered them out with a screwdriver.
Would you do me a favor? Would you open up the garbage can?
Yes. Someone's wallered them out with the...
Gotta pull it out.
You got toes?
I got toes, yeah.
Alright, now this is ready to come off of here. There's a flange on the other side. I don't know if we're going to get to painting that because this is going to be a one-sided display. I am going to leave the hinges on the door. We have enough to do the papers here. We may need to do it two-sided so that we can actually put enough space in between so you can see them good and see what the design is. Because this is for our shop and we're going to display papers on there. Same concept with like blankets or grain sacks or whatever you're displaying if you've got like really cool towels or something, I don't know. But I'm going to leave it so that it hinges on the wall the way I mounted on the wall at the shop so you can look at either side of the display and it's dual purpose instead of just taking up all the real estate and just having one display.
I'm going to move this out of our way.
Okay. There's enough paint on here. I'm going to chisel that off really quickly.
I want to show them the knob up close. I love
that lays flat.
Old doors because you always find like this shade of blue at some point in most doors. And I love how like chippy unlayered this knob is.
Okay, so this is just 2.5, I think, maybe it's 3" by 3/8 inch trim, just flat trim. And ours got a little water damaged. It sat out in the rain for a minute, but we're gonna paint over that. And I forgot my nail gun. So I will go grab that in a second. But
I'm going to answer quick. Hazel, we do ship to Canada at JamiRayVintage.com, on JRVHome.com. Also, ignore that. I'm going to sew it today, I promise. I forgot to fluff it. At JRVHome.com, because we sell a lot of odd shaped things, we don't have international shipping set up. However, if you email info@JamiRayVintageHome.com, Ivy, if you could drop that email in the comments, that'd be good. If you email us what you want, then we'll get you shipping on it. But we have to do it that way because international shipping can vary, and if we don't calculate it correctly, it could way over calculate it or way under calculate it. So we usually just do order by order. And if we can ever figure out a great way to calculate these odd shaped things, then we will. We have shipped to Australia, Canada, all over the place.
so Gorilla Heavy Duty Construction Adhesive, we've tried a bunch. This is our favorite. Similar to stuff like liquid nails, things like that, but I feel like this sticks better to more surfaces, especially like glass and things like that.
So Lolly Lolly says, coming from Ireland, it was always weird seeing how Americans celebrate St. Patty's Day. We celebrated by, my kids wore green. I bought the Lucky Charms that turns your milk green, like the special ones with only green charms, and that's it. Normally my mom will make corned beef and cabbage, but she's had a rough week this week, and so I don't think we're having any corned beef and cabbage. Maybe if I get to the grocery store.
Okay, so the reason I'm putting these on here, I'm gonna layer another one on just to double it up, is to hold that out away from the door so that I can actually slide the paper back behind. I gotta go get my nail gun, so I'll be right back.
All right, I'll just be here hanging out.
As soon as I get this side on though, you can start painting.
Kai, I do have my green sweater on and my green shirt. We actually thought we were Irish for a long time. My grandpa used to say, if I had the drop of an Englishman in my blood. Well, turns out we're actually not Irish, we are English. We did some family history and genealogy, and yeah, no Irish hair. Our Harrington, so my maiden name is Harrington, and H-A, I guess, is the English spelling, and H-E is the Irish, I don't know. But anyways, we are English Harringtons. there might be Irish somewhere in there. All those countries are very close, so I'm sure there was some border crossing. Leah says they're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Here, hopefully you don't mess your hair up. That's what I could find quick.
Thanks. You know what? I thought I saw some regular ones.
I don't know, I'm not gonna mess my hair up. We don't have to worry about that.
Have hair.
All right. Okay, so
Maybe I put them in the drawer.
I've got 1 5/8, 18 gauge nails in here. And I'm just gonna put them every so often because the glue's good. It's gonna really make this sturdy and hold that on. But if we start hanging heavy blankets on these copper rods, the tubing, it might not hold up over time.
So Queen Bee has a good question. She says, what do we use to cover up the tips of glue to keep them from drying out? So you could put a screw in. That's a really good option. But we just squeeze a little. We call it leaving a booger.
So you see that
and then we pick it off.
That little bead of glue right there? I'll let that dry, and then when you come back to use it again, you just pop that off. This one, someone had cut it flush, and I had to. Most of your caulking guns will have this on there, so you can stab the dry spot out, and no biggie.
Renee says she has green nails. I used to get my nails done, but it was a moot point.
We're almost ready to start painting.
Almost.
I should zigzag this, but I'm not super. It's not super heavy weight on these papers, so I'm not gonna sweat it. It's not gonna be a big deal. The glue's
all
gonna
fun
be
and
on
games
there.
till they come crashing down.
Nothing's gonna crash down. Nothing.
Marlene says my green today is a Loft House sugar cookie with green frosting. That sounds delicious. I'm thinking I'm gonna go by Lehi Bakery and see if they have any more green donuts. That sounds like a good way to celebrate.
Oh yeah. Well, their donuts are good no matter what color they are.
They have square donuts. That's great.
Okay, so can you guys see that on camera? I don't know what you...
Jennifer just joined. What are you making? We are making a display for our decoupage paper, but it could also easily be used as a display for blankets, because I know a lot of people can collect like antique blankets or grain sacks, and so it's fun to have something that you can drape them over and display them.
All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and then I have some little brackets that are gonna hold the copper bars on here. But you won't be able to see me do this side because I'm gonna let Jamie start painting and leave the camera where it's at.
All right, I gotta put well, I'm gonna wait till you put this down so that way I'm not handing your stuff.
Oh, well,
or can I just set it over?
Yeah, just hand it right here.
All right. Okay. It's always good if you let your milk paint sit up a little bit. It'll thicken. And if you don't like the consistency of your milk paint, guys, feel free to add or water or more milk paint, whatever. I'm not super good at measuring. I just kind of estimate. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. This is a little runnier than I wanted, but it'll work. And my brush is wet, so that's gonna make it thinner. All our brushes were dirty. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dry my brush out. We have a fun edited video coming up Friday. If you guys go to my Instagram stories, you'll see us working on a very large I can't say it right, mirror.
That works. I feel like you nailed it.
I got it from my homegirl Marlene, and it's pretty cool.
All right, only a few more staples, and then we'll be done making noise. Hey, milk paint sticks super good to fabric. So
yeah, it ain't coming out. The good news is that it's green and it's St. Patrick's Day, so nobody can pinch our door. I didn't even plan it. I didn't even think about the fact that it's green on St. Patrick's Day. I like to use milk paint for this kind of an application because it will crack and chip, and then it won't look like I painted it to look brand new, because part of the gloriousness of old doors is the old chippy paint.
Here, I'll bring it down for just a second. So, right here, just doing the same thing to the other side. This is really just to give me some room between the door and the bracket.
This is not a door from this house here that I know of. I think this came from, we got a haul from
We've
Front
had
line?
this door for quite a while. This is before we even bought the house.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've been a door hoarder for a long time. Most of my doors that I had in the other house, like for decor and stuff, have all been used here. I always said, you never know when you're gonna need an old door, and I always seem to need them. If you guys follow Debbie from DIY Paint, she has been using old doors to spruce up her shop, getting ready for boot camp. We're gonna be there in a few weeks to teach at that, so we're super excited about that. And we are also going to be, let me give you a date, because I'm horrible at doing that. We're gonna be in Bernie, Texas, and it's not an April Fool's joke, but it will be on April Fool's Day, April 1st, at the sanctuary, and we will drop an event link for that once we get that. We're gonna do a meet and greet there. We're going to Texas for Antiques Week, and while we're there, I'm going to my friend's shop, and we will be doing a meet and greet, so we're super excited about that. Hanging out with Sarah. The cool thing is, you guys, while we are headed to Antiques Week, we're going to junk on our way. And so this Saturday will be just our regular thrift haul, but the next Saturday will be from our, what's that called, our Airbnb in New Mexico. And then the following Saturday we'll be back home, but we'll be with our haul from Antiques Week in Round Top. So we have some fun things coming up.
Are we painting the black in the middle, or are you just gonna leave that?
Let's paint it. We can always like distress it back or whatever.
Okay, this door has quite a bit of chippy paint. There's probably 4 or 5 layers here of color. It's kind of hard to see because mostly it looks like they went white or cream.
Do you want to move the camera over here so I can
Yeah.
see that?
Yeah. So you can see like down here, some of these chips. I'll try to bring you close. So
Oh, we don't have this all the way over. I'm gonna get it on the countertop.
there it is. And the wrapper Jack left this morning.
Hey, we got kids, man. I'm gonna put paper towels on
But
it then.
yeah, it's chipping a little bit here, which is fine. We're putting milk paint on it. You didn't add any extra bond, did you?
Nope, I'm living wild and free.
So a lot of this might just chip off anyway.
Where did you put the paper towels?
Robin, we are actually purchasing a trailer down in Texas, so we only have to drive one way with it. So we're gonna buy it down there. I've checked, pricing is about the same as it is here in Utah. So we're just gonna get one there, and then we'll haul it back home, hopefully all the way full.
Can you lift that up? Sorry,
Yeah.
our drop cloth isn't quite big enough, and I want to keep it off the counter.
Okay. Well, I wasn't gonna paint the very bottom of the door.
Well, I gotta paint this lip
Oh
here.
yeah, you do need to paint that.
Yeah, we don't need to paint the bottom.
But yeah, we're gonna have a trailer and hopefully make it worth our time to go down there. It's gonna be a fun trip, but we're also working and finding stuff for the shop and the websites and all that.
It's what
good
we
stuff.
like to call workation, which is basically our life. So when we go to Debbie's,
yeah.
we're taking the kids because we're just going to be there teaching a class for a few hours. We might show up for other stuff, who knows, because we're going to be staying really close to boot camp. But it's spring break, so we're like, well, let's just take the kids while we're at it. We'll teach a class, we'll do a little beaching, a little social distancing on the beach. All right, let me pull up the live chat. Yeah, I finally learned how to say Bernie. I was calling it Born because it's spelled B-O-R-N-E.
All right, you gotta talk loud because I've got the camera way back
Oh, okay.
so that they can see the whole door.
All right. And I did not sand this door first. I am always really careful with old doors. If you're gonna sand them, you need to be wearing a mask. You should probably be outside. You need to test your doors. Always be safe.
Yeah,
So
they
do you
sell.
want to pull that out before I paint, or
Pull what out?
that nail? that
Oh,
was there?
the nail? No, I'll knock it out from the other side in a minute here.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna paint around it.
Yeah, that's fine. If you notice in like all our videos this week that I have this Star Wars shirt on, I haven't been showering or changing, so you know, there's that. It's been a busy week and it's only Tuesday or Wednesday. Look at that, I can't even keep the days straight. It's Wednesday.
Well, we just launched our second line of products for the JRB Woods line to our retailers. We'll get those up for you guys to buy here pretty quickly. We just got to finish a bunch of them, so hopefully by the end of the week we'll have that up. Super excited about that. We've got some new pourables, new cutouts, new candlesticks coming. all the things. And we finally finished all the packaging for the new skincare line that's coming out. So hopefully we'll have that maybe next week. We'll see. Lots of fun things going on around here. And while we paint, in the very next room, my friend Shelly, if you see stories, you'll get to see it. She runs a business called Slipcovers by Shelly. And she is in there working on the slipcover for our ginormous couch.
It's gonna look like those IKEA couches we used to have that are white. It's getting all white slipcovers.
She's getting a new dress. My couch, when I say ginormous, it's 15 feet long by 10 foot deep on each side. And she told me she's never done a couch that big before. But we have a big family. Just living here, there's 8 of us because my parents live with us. But then I have my son and his girlfriend over here often, Ty and Mariah and their boys. So we just have to have a big couch somewhere we can all hang out.
Man, Vicki, that is a huge dough bowl.
What?
7-foot dough bowl that someone was selling on Facebook for $50.
What?
They said
That's worth like $400 or $500.
They said it was from Round Top.
That's awesome.
We're excited. Kai, that's not too much information. I just haven't been showering.
I've showered. My hair's done. It's kind of a busy week too. Like Odelia has cheer tryouts next week, which is kind of a big deal. There were 150 girls at the meeting, and
I don't
there's
know if
only
they're
like,
going to be able to hear you talking away from the
sorry,
camera.
there's 150 girls that were at the cheer meeting last night, and they only have spots for like 50 or 60. So the head coach always tries to like not scare them, but let them know exactly how involved cheerleading is, and be like, listen, if you can't make the commitment, don't show up to tryouts. So usually about 30% don't actually show up after they hear all the things that are required. And then next week is cheer tryouts, which even though she's been on the team for 2 years, she was the cheer captain this year, it doesn't assure that she has a spot. So we're all a little
Well, the crazy thing
crazy.
is I played football, basketball, and baseball in high school because the seasons didn't overlap. And she probably puts in way more time and effort than I ever did for those 3 sports just doing cheer. So it's like a huge time commitment for these kids.
Yeah, and she actually, she's working on her tumbling because she's not a natural tumbler.
She doesn't like going backwards.
I don't blame her. So she's taking private lessons right now to work on that and get ready. But yeah, they're 2-time state champions. So I think that people have come over from maybe other schools because words got out that Lehi has a great cheer program. Their cheer coach is amazing. Their head coach I've known since Odelia was like 2.
And she lived on the
Yeah, she just lived right
same
across the street
street
from
as
us.
us for a long time.
Yeah, from the neighborhood we just moved from, so. Amber said they could hear me.
Okay, good.
Are we flying to Houston? No, we're driving. My SUV can pull a trailer, so we're gonna drive out there, grab a trailer, and then drive
We
home.
contemplated taking the truck, but it's loud, it's lifted, it doesn't ride super smooth.
It's lifted. Yeah, Zeb's truck is cool, but my car is more comfortable.
I mean, we've driven to Albuquerque in it before. We're like, maybe we'll take the Suburban next time, you know.
Yeah, but our kids are not coming, so Zeb and I will just be there working in the car. We've got Wi-Fi, so I have a lot of things that I need to be working on, and we'll just have fun.
It's
just
when
hang out.
when we take these road trips, we usually hash out like what we're gonna do for the next like 6 months.
But yeah, time never goes to waste. It's always a lot of like life planning and goals and stuff. And it's about 9 hours to Albuquerque, I think, and then another 11 hours to Bernie. And then the next day we have a couple hours to get to Round Top. We'll stay in Round Top for 3 days, come back to Bernie, do the meet and greet, and then we'll have to start traveling home the next Friday because we have to be here by Saturday night, A, for our thrift haul, and B, because Sunday's Easter. So we got to be home with our kids for that.
All right, so the milk paint's on there. I actually need to start putting brackets on. I think I can do that with the milk paint on there without messing it up too much. I need to touch it up a little bit.
You want me to grab the heat gun? So not too shabby. Patty said, did we paint this green for St. Patrick's Day? Actually, no.
It just worked
I
out.
found that organized.
Jamie paints everything this color. I don't know if you know. Look at her
My buffet.
her buffet
look,
over
you're
here.
Sneak peeking them the Friday's video.
If they've seen Instagram, they've seen the whole thing.
Hey, there's the heat gun. It's right there. There's a benefit to following me on Instagram. You get the Insta stories.
Okay, so we have 15 paper designs, and we're probably going to be adding more soonish in the next month or 2. This is 79 inches. What's that? Let's do 10 per side. So that'd be about 8 inches in between each. Now to figure out the math on that.
So a heat gun can make it crackle and chip.
Sweetie, can you just do these top ones?
Yeah.
Because that's where I have to screw stuff in.
Yeah, I'll have to do one side, then plug it into the other because the core's not that long.
That's okay.
Oh, were we not going to paint this side?
Yeah, this is going to be like a blanket ladder. We're going to use it for a display for our decoupage paper.
My half bathroom door is painted this color on the inside. It's kind of fun.
Hang on, I need a pencil or something to mark it.
In that junk drawer to the far right. Is there a pen in there?
Yeah, that'll work.
There's lemons, pens. You never know what you're going to find in our junk drawer.
Sample stencil brushes.
Yeah. So really more this piece right here that needs to be dry.
All right, so I'm going to go 4 inches off the top. Yeah.
It's peeling a little. Well, because underneath is like latex.
Underneath is latex and other things, and then also we didn't put any bond in there, so we're going to get some chippy and crackling on this door for sure.
It's all right.
Okay, so these are 1/2 inch 2-hole straps. I picked these up in the electrical aisle. They're used for exterior conduit or sometimes interior too. If you've got a long span, you've got to run conduit on. But anyway, they just look like this. And I'm going to use these to put the poles in. I don't have end caps for the copper. They make little caps that you can buy. They're like 50 cents each. They didn't have enough of them when I was buying this, so I got to go back and see if they have them. Or I might just go somewhere else and grab them so they're all matching, because sometimes the caps are a little bit different. So you can get a cap to put on here, but I would do that after you screw your piece in. But so I was looking for like a copper colored one of these. We might, I don't know, I haven't discussed it with Jamie. We might just put some pennies from heaven over the top of these. We might just leave them kind of an industrial silver look.
Yeah, we could. We'd have to paint them white first and then do paint, or we could paint them like orange and then do pennies from heaven. We'll see. The other morning on my buffet that Zeb was showing you, I don't know, it was like 6 a.m. I decided to white wax it and add pennies from heaven on the handles. I'm kind of a weird, I get in a weird decor mood and I start painting things.
Okay, so these are just going centered over my mark.
Oh, I did not dry that.
That's okay. Oops. I'm gonna have to use 2 hands. Probably shorter screws would be better. It's gonna be industrial.
I'm just gonna dry around that.
I'm just using screws I had in the garage. They make all kinds. These are 1 5/8 inches. Probably 3/4 inch, 1 inch screw would be overkill. Like it would work great. So.
We actually bought a display for our paper, and then I'm not very good at measuring, but subsequently neither is Zeb. And the paper doesn't fit, but it's the perfect jogger display.
Oh, Kai, I'm glad you mentioned that video. So YouTube is doing a new thing where we can upload short videos, and they have to be under 1 minute long. So I put one up yesterday. Not too many people have seen it because I don't know that YouTube's pushing them out. It's still in beta testing. So, but anyway, I put a short up yesterday of me doing some wood turning on some of the templates for the new woods line for JRV Home. So if you want to check that out, it's just a quick little one. We'll probably do a couple of those a week. Maybe just do like quick tips or time lapses of what we've got going on this week. So watch for those because they're fun. It's just a quick little 60-second clip and of wood turning yesterday. But I think we can have a lot of fun with those. So keep an eye out on them.
All right, you want to go do the other side?
Molly saw the short. Emma's on it. That is her name, right?
Ivy said she saw it on TikTok.
Oh yeah,
So,
we
yeah.
also put it on TikTok.
It wasn't quite 1 minute, so I couldn't put it on
But you
Instagram.
know, everybody doesn't want to brave TikTok, so we're also going to put them on YouTube.
Yeah, so we're gonna actually take, because they're vertically shot videos, so I'll use
Oops, sorry.
I'll use them on Instagram too, but we got to make them exactly 1 minute at least to be on Instagram.
All right, hang on, I gotta screw this in.
Also, if you guys want to go, I'll wait till Zeb's done screwing.
I only have one more screw.
Okay.
Okay, it's in.
If you guys want to go over to community tab, check it out. Our friend Mara had a cyber attack or whatever on her Facebook page, and so she had to start a new page, and so we're trying to get people over to her new page. Her old page is still there, she just no longer has access to it, and she's trying to get with Facebook and regain access to it, but if anybody's ever had an interaction with like that, it's very difficult to get it back, if ever, so we're trying to help her out.
This is an old strip of latex paint.
Wally says she can't handle TikTok, which is totally fine, so we're going to be putting them up on YouTube too.
Yeah, so you can see right here, I don't have the caps that go on there. Once we put the caps on, I think it'll help keep them from falling out. And if they're a real problem, I can crimp this a little bit if they want to slide out of here, and then that'll hold them right in place. Because this 1/2 inch is for a little bit larger conduit. The copper pipe is technically 1/2 inch interior dimension, I believe. Maybe it's exterior, but
That's cool.
But that's what that's going to look like. And you get that fun copper effect with the green. It's almost like a verdigris, like we did it on purpose.
Yeah, I don't really know how you're going to fit enough papers on here because we don't want to cover up the designs.
No, I'm going to do them about 8 inches apart and do 10 down this side and 10 down the other.
What?
Don't worry.
Okay.
It's the master plan.
10 down one side, you mean like fold them in half?
No. 10 on this side, 10 on the other side.
Oh, on this side?
So here, for example, all right, let's pretend
here.
Let's pretend that this is a 2x4 on the wall. I'm going to mount a 2x4 on the wall. We can paint it whatever color. I'm going to screw the hinges on the door onto this 2x4, and you can move it to see both sides.
We're going to have to find a new place to display it. That won't fit in the hallway. It'll be too tight.
Well, we'll see. I was going to probably redo the stencil stuff and do that and move
All
stuff
right,
around.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down now.
But otherwise, we have to have 2 doors.
I feel like that would be better.
2 doors?
Mm-hmm.
We'll
we
see.
have a lot of space in that hallway. Let's just do one side of this and then put it in there.
We'll need to get another door?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys think that we talk ahead of times about things, but this is our live discussion right here.
So, you'll get to see in the shop tomorrow, I'll have these mounted up, so you get to see where these are going in the shop with the paper on them.
So, Deb wants to know how you're going to keep the paper from sliding off the slick tubes.
So once you fold them in half, they don't really move around much.
Yeah, we're going to have multiple
They'll be draped over, so.
We'll find out. That's what he's saying.
All right, so.
So do you want me to try to paint this with pennies from heaven? See what happens?
Yeah, you can try.
Okay.
If not, I have a bunch, and these packets are like $1
Well,
for 5 of these.
take the tube out so I don't paint that.
Yeah, these packets are like $1 for 5 of these brackets, so if we got to get more, I'm not gonna really worry about it. It's less than a candy bar is for those. Okay, so I'm just going off my other measurement here. I'm gonna put about 8 inches between them so that I can fit 10 on a side. And
I had to add a little water. My pennies from heaven.
And I'm putting the middle of the arch on this bracket on my mark.
This is my original jar of pennies from heaven.
Here, hang on, let me measure this.
From when
fast.
it was released almost a year ago. It's really gone the distance.
I'm gonna go try to find some shorter screws real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring the camera in close too so they can kind of see.
I'm just gonna stir in my water that I
Well,
just
I
mixed.
say closer.
Closer, bring them in close.
So you guys can see the floor where Jamie sanded it in a fit of crafting rage.
2 o'clock in the morning. Just don't ask, okay?
All right, there you
I
go.
was going for a new look.
We might do the whole floor and leave it all rustic like that.
Or it'll just get rustic on its own. Oh, you could hang copper pots from this. That would be cool. All right, so I'm just using, this is Pennies from Heaven. You can also get this at jamirayvintage.com. And like I said, this one is so old. Like I've had this since the release last September. It's the like original one. And it got a little chunky, so I added some water in it to get all the paint off the side, off the lid. It's a little bit spendy, so you don't want to waste any of it. So I'm just gonna scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I'll just paint this here. It's gonna get on the paint.
Are you getting it on the board?
Yeah.
Do you want to paint them beforehand?
Yeah, that would be better. Then I just have to paint
I
this.
do like the way that looks. I found some shorter screws.
It's all right.
These are number 6, 3/4 inch long, so these are gonna work
They're
great.
kind of shiny. So we'll see how that holds up. Let me heat gun that.
Okay, I'm gonna. Here, we need to paint a bunch of them real quick then, so I can screw them on.
No, go ahead and screw them on. I'll just paint them and then I'll sand around them. It's fine. I don't care.
Okay. I like that plan because then we can actually get the project done.
Yeah. I'll make it look intentional. I'll add some pennies from heaven elsewhere. Ain't nobody got time to paint them individually.
So hopefully this will get dry enough. We'll show you with a couple papers draping over it before we're done, or like a blanket or something.
Yeah, I can.
This middle part, we can probably heat gun it and get it dry enough.
So it's taking 2 coats of the pennies from heaven to really cover this. And it has a built-in top coat, so I'm not going to bother to put anything else on it.
Yeah, the shorter screws are a lot better, and they match instead of being black.
There you go.
They're the same silver color.
Boom. It's just paint, y'all.
Nailed it. So this is something I've been needing to do for like a month and a half. When did we come out with the papers? January? End of January?
I don't know. It's been a long time. Our locals are like, when are you going to get in your shop?
We haven't had them in our shop.
Well, we sold so many to our retailers that we couldn't carry them in the shop, and we finally got our last, because we ordered a bunch all at once, and we got our last shipment of the big initial order. So now we have enough for us. All right, that's better. See, just touch up the edges, done. Like it never happened. The branded drill, we use Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And that's our impact drill.
So my brother got me some Milwaukee drills, probably 3-4 years ago now. And this is the battery system I have, so all my tools are like this. Because kind of once you get the tool, you're committed to the batteries, because the batteries are almost as expensive as the drill.
It's hard to tell because it's covered in paint.
It's been used. I built this whole house with these tools. It's been used real hard.
Yeah, so we will put rubber caps on or copper caps on the ends of these, but they didn't have enough at the store, and Zeb wanted to make sure that we had them all matching.
Yeah, I gotta go find them at a different hardware store.
Did you measure that out, or are you just eyeballing it?
No, I measured. These are 8 inches apart. And hopefully we can fit 10. It might end up being 9 because the whole door is 80 and I went 4 inches. So this is 4 inches from the top. And then I measured 8 inches down from there.
Well, you don't want the paper to drag the ground.
No.
That would be counterproductive.
So we might have to just do like 6 and then do another door. We ended up doing like 3 doors.
It's all right. I have a hallway that I'm going to put them in, so it's fine. They just have to be flat or else you can't really get past it. I'm finding that it's easier if I just tab it like that. You guys see? There we go. I don't get as much on the door.
Let's see. So also, fun thing about this drill is it's an impact drill. So as long as your screw doesn't break, like it'll drive the screw right through like a 2x4. It'll just keep running it. I love it because it makes it really easy and you're less likely to split your wood too.
I think it's gonna look good.
Yeah, the copper color is really looking cool on here.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta start hustling though.
Yeah.
You're getting ahead of me.
It's all right. My job is slightly less difficult.
If you have time in between, you can start heat gunning in the middle, so it gets
Yeah, but
dry.
I don't want to get in your way. Once you get further down the way, then I'll heat gun the top.
Well, we need to see how long a paper is going to be folded, and that's
Says
where I'll
Alabama
stop.
is marked for twisters over the next 24 hours. Prayers welcome.
Uh-oh.
We will definitely. Zeb's
My
parents are
mom
there.
is having hip surgery
Right
right now. She's having her second hip. They're doing a full replacement on it. They did the other one. And then she was at my brother's house and she wanted to show the kids. She got them some jump ropes and she wanted to show them how to do a certain jump rope move. And so, you know, she's just had hip replacement about 6 months ago on one hip. And she decided that she was gonna do some jump roping, and like a week later now she's replacing that other one because it's hurting her so bad. She broke up the calcium deposits that were in the joint and it's like shredding it, so.
So we are praying for Alabama because twisters and hip surgery at the same time, no fun.
Yeah, no, that's, is it?
She's in the Columbiana area.
Yeah.
Kai says people are canceling new home builds because lumber is so expensive. Yeah. And lucky us, we decided to start a woods line. We've had to get real creative with stuff.
Yeah. So, but we're making it work. We found a couple good sources that are local here. So we're getting, so a lot of our wood products, the lumber for them is getting cut here in Utah in the Uinta mountain range, and it's dead standing. They're really they're doing a lot of responsible forestry and logging, and some of it's blue stain, like it's got that fun blue stain through it.
So, fun fact, sometimes doors aren't exactly level, so you might want to just double check.
Well, so I did it off of, so that door is wide, it's longer by about a quarter inch on that side.
So is this gonna look unlevel?
No, it'll be fine. I mean, if your eye sees it, then you're twitchier than I am.
Okay. Just checking.
Just saying.
I just don't want the crooked.
Once we get papers on here, it's not gonna be a thing.
Kind of like Odelia's door.
So Odelia's door I knew about and just ran with it because I needed to get it done for the inspection.
Odelia's, the bottom of her door is crooked. So instead of cutting it off and framing it to be square, he framed it and it's crooked on the bottom. So the only way for us to fix it.
I put the crooked side down and it's about an inch different from one side to the other.
Can't really tell until she turns her light on, and then you see this like down at the end of the hall. So we'll have to like put a piece on the bottom, like screw it together, Bondo it, sand it, and paint it. So like in 2029, we'll fix that. But it's charming, and it makes the new part of the house match the old part. So
I might just do one of those door seals that screw to the front of it on there, and then it can just like, it'll trick your eye. You won't see it.
Does anyone know of a tutorial with white decrepit dust? I don't think we've used it, but.
We've used the dark decrepit dust. I imagine it would be the same, give you kind of like a aged, whitewashed, kind of faded look.
Yeah, like a
kinda
oxidized look.
Kind of like white wax, because the decrepit dust looks like dark wax a lot, but it does. It's like a little grittier. It's like gets you the good aged look.
Sits down in the cracks. We can try to put that on our list of things to do. I would use it with like black velvet would be really pretty with decrepit dust, or weathered wood, old school. Any of those darker colors would be super pretty with that.
So I'll run it by you guys. I was wanting to do, because we're getting a lot of questions right now about like paint finishes, and I'm worried our older videos aren't coming up. And we've got a little bit more experience in some different products that we're using now. Would you guys be interested in seeing, probably when we get back from California mid-April, but I wanted to do a series on like kind of like back to basics on just painting in general, like with the stuff that we use every day. Would you be interested in watching that and rehashing some of those older videos? Otherwise, I can just repost the old videos and we can watch those again.
We could probably take some of the footage for them and show them how we've kind of changed over the years, because there are new things that we pick up along the way.
All right, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna put this one in, then I'm gonna do that.
Joe says I'll watch whatever you guys put out. So.
Well, it'll be new and fun from the farmhouse, right?
What did you want me to do?
So after you get done, I'm gonna put this one in, you can paint that, then I'm gonna go put those in, but I need this heat gun so I can get a piece of paper out over here without getting paint on it and see.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, essentially it'll probably be 15 inches from the top, but I just wanted to see how it's gonna drape.
I got you. So if I was doing a blanket ladder, I would not put them this close together.
Yeah, I'd probably put them a little farther together, or a little farther apart.
I knew what you meant.
I'd probably do like 12 inches.
Yeah.
Well, and most people aren't going to have 15 blankets that they want to display on one door.
And if you wanted it to be like less kitschy, you know, not the green and the copper, you could totally get, like, do they make these in different colors, what you're using? Do they have black ones?
These brackets?
Yeah.
No, they're just conduit for electrical, but you could paint them. I mean,
You could do black.
yeah, you could easily paint these with black. The little black dress sticks to metal really
So
well.
like a black and white color scheme or whatever. Like this is a little bright, but I wanted it to be fun because it's a display for the decoupage paper. But you could totally just change up the colors and do something a little bit more neutral if you wanted to. Because I know for blanket display, I kind of like things a little bit more neutral because my blankets are very colorful because we have some in our room.
Kai, well, we appreciate you sharing our videos out there. I mean, we've got hundreds of tutorial videos, but sometimes we're coming up on 1,000 videos. We'll probably pass that this year at some point. And sometimes even when you search it, the video doesn't come up because it's like buried in the archives of YouTube.
Sometimes I can't even find them. We try to make playlists. Those help a lot.
Well, and some of those videos are 4 and 5 years old now, so, you know, there's new stuff happening. There's new products, there's new techniques that we've learned.
I got new hair. I don't wear glasses anymore. I've got new teeth. It's funny, people will find us on the older videos and they'll be like, then they'll watch the new one and be like, oh my gosh, you guys have changed.
Well, you know, it's kind of like when you're going through the pictures, your old family pictures, and you're looking at like all your different haircuts and hairstyles over the years and glasses you wore and clothes you were wearing. And then when you watch it on video, you're just like, oh, I can't believe I wore that.
Molly says Jamie looks younger now.
Yeah, she's working on it. She's fighting old
I'm not fighting.
father time right on off.
You know what? We were broke as a joke. And if you guys think we're busy now, we were way busy then. And sometimes when you can take a little better care of yourself, you just look a little younger. Mama was tired. But sometimes you gotta hustle. I'm so glad for that time that we had that we did all those things because I feel like I pull from that quite often. Every now and then you gotta pull an all-nighter.
Well, and also it's like we were decent at painting furniture and doing things and crafting, but when we started, I had used the lathe on one project in wood shop when I was 17.
I was telling people we're adequate DIYers. A lot of times we're doing things for the first time while we're live or while we're making a video. We'll like Google it before we do it. I think sometimes DIYing just goes down to confidence, and the more that you do, it's kind of like a muscle. The more you work your DIY skills, the better you are, even if it's not something you've done before, just because you're confident in it and you're not worried about messing up.
Well, my sister Barbara has one of my old lathes because I had one that the motor was getting tired on it, and I gave it to my dad, and she snagged it from him, and she's not doing like big production with it all the time, so if it runs a little slower, she's okay. It doesn't bother her. Like me, I'm like, man, I need this turning at full speed, so we got a new one. But she's been getting into woodworking and using her lathe, and she's making some cool stuff.
Yeah. My kids like to turn wood, so sometimes get out in the garage with them. I haven't turned a whole lot.
Jack gets frustrated because he's like, Dad, can you come watch me on the lathe right now? And I can't watch him as much as he wants to do stuff because I don't let Jack run it by himself.
Well, yeah, he's 6.
Or Redrick either. Redrick's 9.
Jack is actually more cautious with stuff.
Yeah, Redrick just kind of goes for stuff.
Jack, when Redrick paints, he paints with his whole body. Jack is a little bit neater. He did get paint on him yesterday, but not much. He was helping us with the project we're working on. Big kids went to the mall with Aunt Mariah, and Jack had to stay behind, so he got to work with us.
All right, in just a sec here, I'll put these rods in so you can kind of see what they're going to look like across. I think the copper, I'm loving the way it looks with this. This is pantry door or Sweetie Jane?
This is pantry door.
Okay.
Sometimes I mix pantry door and Sweetie Jane.
I know, and it really throws me off because now I don't know which color is which.
Anita, we're working on a display for our new decoupage paper, but it can also be used for blankets because we know not everybody's going to display decoupage paper. Or like a grain sack collection, really any fabric that you want to drape over. So this is an old door. We've got some electrical, what are these called?
They're just brackets. They're used for conduit to put
careful,
electrical
this is
in.
wet right here.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then we've got some copper pipes. It's about to come together, we think.
Yeah, we're almost there. I gotta move my tools.
And these are silver colored, and so because we have the copper piping, I've been using our copper patina, which is pennies from heaven, to match them. So it's a pretty good match.
Well, and you could, let's say you just wanted like a fun towel rack, I think this would, like you could take this same concept with like an old piece of salvage wood and make like a fun towel rack in your bathroom or for your kitchen or like even inside your cupboard door.
For like a bunkhouse where you have a bunch of people, like a cabin or whatever, this would be way fun for towel storage because you always need room for, especially when you've got family and
Yeah, you don't have to do like the whole thing. You could just, you know, put a couple towels on it or whatever.
All right.
I'm trying to see where we're gonna end up.
Okay.
So I think
one more and done.
No,
I don't want to make people squat down.
So if I do one more here and then one more here, it'll be up at like right there is where.
And that's how many?
That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that we got on one side.
Okay.
So 2 doors
we'll
will
do all
it.
the papers.
We'll do all the designs we have right
now.
now.
It's all right. We got a long wall.
Okay. So let me get those on, then we can start getting the bars in here.
Lolly says that you could add your yarn cord, paintbrushes, craft display ladder.
You can do just about whatever you want on here that needs hung up. Spring break's coming. Is anybody going on any fun trips? I always love hearing about what people have going on.
I know, we never go anywhere. Our kids are just excited that we're taking them with us.
They're like, they don't even care that Disneyland's closed unless you're local to California. They're like,
you have to be a California resident with a license if you're an adult. I'm like, Debbie, you want to take all the kids to Disneyland? 7, I'll go to the beach for the day. You take the kids to Disneyland. She didn't respond. I don't know why. That's weird. Come on, Aunt Debbie. She loves my kids, and they love her, so they're.
But you know, there's sometimes just getting out of the house, getting in a new place, and going to some new restaurants is just all the fun you need.
Yeah.
And we'll probably do thrifting and stuff and find some cool things. Maybe go to a swap meet or something while we're there. The kids love that.
Yeah, the kids love, well, they love like junk.
The girls love it, and the boys always somehow find like a bunch of stuffed animals and toys that I'm like, you already have 500 of these.
Yeah, I don't know what the schedule's like. We'll have to go live that Saturday from there. So we'll either be in Debbie's shop. I don't know what her schedule's like, or the Airbnb. So we'll have to find some junk while we're there. I don't know how we're gonna get it home.
Maybe we'll bring the trailer.
Bring the trailer. No, because you have to drive too slow with a trailer.
Yeah, you do need to
drive. It's a long drive. And if you pull a trailer in California, they like really limit.
55 is your max speed limit with a trailer.
Pass.
That adds like 2 hours to our trip.
We'll just have to junk like we did when we were in France. So whatever fits in your suitcases, that's what you get to take home.
Okay, so I've got 2 over there that are ready. All right, that one's ready for you to paint.
We just downsized the side. We used to have a bigger SUV, and so my SUV is smaller now, so not as much room for junk. But it tows more, so you know, you win some, you lose some.
At higher towing capacity because less cargo space in the actual vehicle. Can you guys even see what we're doing here? Oh yeah, there we go. All right, we're almost there, guys. Thanks for hanging out and watching this thing come together. It should be cool. It's going to look really good on the wall with the paper on it. Is that dry enough up there?
Debbie didn't go live this week. Debbie, they went live on Facebook. Yeah. So you'll have to check it out there. I think she's going to start doing her weekly lives on Facebook. Trying something around. The algorithm's been kind of weird. I'm noticing that our live videos aren't getting pushed out as much like they used to be. So she might be changing it because of that.
Yeah, we might also have to go to more edited videos just so you guys get the notifications on them and things. YouTube's trying to compete with like platforms like TikTok and Instagram, so they're pushing the shorts right now and all that stuff.
Strap the junk to the top of the car.
We are going to get a
we
cargo
are
carrier.
going to get a cargo carrier, but that's going to store our luggage. And our car, like the 2/3 of the top of the car is a sunroof, so you can't really put junk on that, or you probably shouldn't.
No, you can get a rack that goes over the top of that.
We'll make
Racks
it do.
are good. I love racks. I think they make vehicles look tough.
We're going to look like the Beverly Hillbillies. For real.
Okay, I think we're ready. Paint that one. I'm gonna get rid of this nail down here.
So Capes and Cottages, this is Pantry Door by Sweet Pickens. It's one of the colors that only comes in Sweet Pickens, not also in Farmhouse Finishes. And it was actually made because Sasha had an antique pantry door that she wanted to mimic the color. And so this is that color, and it's really the perfect vintagey green, and I use it on doors all the time. In fact, it's really close to, earlier I showed you guys the doorknob that came from this. It's super close to the original green color. Sorry, I'm dropping stuff. So here's the original green that the door was at one time painted. See how close that is to pantry? See how close that is to pantry door? So this is gonna look great on there. A lot of times I'll mix pantry door with salt wash to do a base coat, so then when I paint white over the top it gets chippy. Or apothecary is fairly close to this, so I know not everybody loves milk paint because it's a little unpredictable, so you can also use apothecary, it's fairly similar.
So if you're just tuning in, we're gonna get caps for these. They make the caps, I think they're like 50 cents a piece. All in on this, we usually buy these doors for about 20, 25 bucks, somewhere in there.
This one was free.
Sometimes we get them for free. And then I'm about $30 on the copper tubing. And then probably about $3 on these brackets and screws. So, you know, it's about a $50 project to do all of this. But man, that's looking cool.
That's next level. Next level is what we say when we're like, ooh, that turned out good. Or when stuff turns out bad, we say it's next
And then
level.
I probably have like another $7 or $8 in caps to buy.
They don't make knobs like that anymore. You can find reproduction knobs, they are really expensive.
Yeah, you're right though, they just don't look quite the same.
We have a whole bunch of knobs in the house that are either antique or really good reproductions. Or doors without knobs, because we're waiting on Zeb. I told Zeb before we leave, we've got to get knobs on my parents' room so they can lock their room, because not only will my kids be here while we're in Texas, but Ty and Mariah are staying here and watching our kids in the house.
And the old people.
And my parents, in case they need something. They're pretty good. Occasionally we have issues like we did Monday where we've got low blood sugar or breathing issues, so it's always good to have somebody here with them.
All right, I'm just drying this
but
off.
Their kids are all going to be here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a house full while we're gone. It's gonna be great. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this off in just a second. And then I just gotta dry this, and then we'll put a couple papers on here. Do you wanna unfold
these?
a couple more papers over there?
Yeah. Let me move this.
That way we can start getting ready to display them. I think this is mostly dry. We got a little bonus copper down here.
It's all right.
I'm really, I've never seen the pennies from heaven up against other actual copper. It's such a close match.
Oh yeah, they did good. I will come back and we'll pull all these out and I'll kind of touch up some of the copper
Well,
that
and
I got over it.
it might need sanded too.
Where?
Just a couple places where the paint's loose.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Okay. All right, let's pull the camera back.
All right, I'm gonna move this. I don't want to dump any paint anywhere. We don't need any paint accidents today.
No.
Can we now put the doorknob back on?
It's underneath there. I
Right.
might figure it out later, but
No,
I
I
think
think
it's
it'll
just gonna.
look weird, so we'll
We
save
might
it for
just-
another project.
Yeah, I was just gonna save it. Here, can you grab that end
Yeah,
over
just
there?
give me a second. This is heavy. Solid wood doors.
So I was gonna grab it in the middle, then we'll just slide it down. All right. So there's the whole thing. I think it turned out good.
You done good, Seth.
We kind of, so Debbie has a display similar to this. I think I used, the copper is a little different than what she used, but basically same concept, an old door.
She cut out the middle and put strips in it.
Oh, okay.
So instead of going above it, she put strips in between it.
I mostly just want to see.
Oh, I guess I should have put it where they could actually see it.
Yeah, I'll just, we're going to see how the paper hangs. You want to go see if you got an old blanket to see what that looks like on here too real quick?
Yeah, I have one right here. So the only thing is they're a little close together, but hopefully
I feel like,
they'll get the point.
well, and you know, maybe we can just decoupage some stuff around so they can see
No,
what the papers
so
look like.
Sue Hendricks dropped off some canvases, and so I was gonna decoupage those and put them on the wall.
So you can still see the basic design of the paper like really
Yeah,
well.
that's good. I think that's really pretty, and I'm glad that we went with this color, because I feel like the walls are white in the shop, so this is gonna really pop and be a fun display.
I don't know, weigh in, what do you guys think? Do you like it? I feel like it's gonna work out really well.
I feel like it's awesome. I'm always
It's just-
trying to find ways to use this copper piping. We used it in our lamp. If you guys see, I'll show you guys. So right there, that lamp, we did a video on that, and that's just copper piping there. Zeb bent it. He had to re-bend it off camera because it was a first time for that.
Yeah,
I've
I did.
actually seen jewelry displays made with this copper piping. That's been on my list of things to do.
It's for what it is and how it looks, it's really inexpensive.
Yeah. that's
For
good.
it's basically $1 a foot, which is cheaper than lumber right now.
That's why our new racks at the shop are not wood.
Yeah, Patricia, you could also hang something from above, like on an island or like with pots or something on it. That would be cool.
Way fun. Okay, so we're gonna take this paper off. If you guys are just tuning in, you can pick up the Pennies from Heaven, the pantry door milk paint, and the decoupage paper at JamiRayVintage.com. We actually also have retailers. So if you go to JRVWholesale.com, you can go to our, the links in this video. You can check out our retailer map, but I do suggest, because we carry a ton of products, not every retailer carries all of them, so contact that retailer first and make sure they have the decoupage paper, the woods product, or stencil that you're looking for.
So this is gonna need to be folded a little bit, like.
But we'll drop the links when we're no longer live, then we'll drop the links specifically.
I'm just gonna fold it in half again.
So this blanket, if you guys saw my Instagram post, this is the one that Jack was covered on the other day.
Whoops.
It was my
Secure
aunt.
it to your wall.
I don't quote me on this, but I believe it came from my Aunt Bessie to my grandma. I got it from my Aunt Willie, and now it's mine, and it's really tattered and old, but
Whoops. Gotta get those caps on there.
yeah, maybe just.
I'm just gonna,
Well,
you guys get the idea.
No,
You can-
sweetie, just put this on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Instead
instead
of
of trying to
running it all
shove
the
it
way down.
underneath. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're so smart.
I'm a little smart. With our powers combined, we can hang this blanket.
There we go.
There we go. So you can do a similar thing with blankets that would look awesome.
I would probably space the blankets, like Jamie said earlier, out farther.
Yeah, I would not do them this close together. I'd actually
Like
do
maybe
16
put like,
inches.
maybe put like 3 or 4 blankets on
Yeah.
there.
And we are going to hang this to the wall with a French cleat. You can find them at your local hardware store or on Amazon, and it will secure it. What it does is we have a video showing how to hang old windows, but you screw it to the wall, then you screw it to the back of your piece, and then you slide it on, and it'll secure it, because this is really heavy, and so just like a little hook or whatever would not be sufficient to making this safe. All right, guys. Is there anything else you need to tell them?
No? Did you tell
Just
them where to
admire
find
your
the
work.
paper at?
Yeah, JamiRayVintage.com for the paint and products we used. JRVHome.com if you're interested in a home decor or clothing. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more.
DIY.
Love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good one.